Feed 'em. La La Land, this is amazing. I absolutely love this movie. A film about pursuing your dreams and falling in love. This is just absolutely brilliant. This is a rare Target exclusive. But man, I absolutely adore this movie. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are dynamite together. And absolutely love this movie. I recommend this to anybody. The cinematography is beautiful. The songs are great. The meaning behind it's great. I love it. Labyrinth. I'm sorry to say this, but I like the Dark Crystal more than this. But this is still decent though. David Bowie, Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, pretty interesting story. Great visuals, but it's not. But I still have some issues with it though. Like the acting's okay and the songs are unnecessary, but the imagination's great though. Oh, I love this movie. L.A. Confidential. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite crime films. Set in L.A., sort of showing the seedy side of Los Angeles. Kevin Spacey, Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, Kim Basinger, who won Best Supporting Actress Oscar. The guy from Babe is in here, who's really horrible in this. He's just who is a horribly despicable person in this, but he's great. Sort of showing the seedy side of tabloid journalism, crime, the LAPD, but it's brilliant. Love it. Lady and the Tramp. You know, I haven't seen this in quite some time, so I don't really remember this one. But I do remember the one song in this. Oh, this is the night. It's a beautiful night. I remember that song. Lady Sings the Blues, a pretty good movie about Billie Holiday with Diana Ross and Randall Calrissian himself, Billy D. Williams. I think this was pretty good. I think this was pretty decent, pretty enjoyable. Doesn't have a Blu-ray that I'm aware of. Ladder 49. Okay, you know, if you've ever seen Backdraft and you like that movie, you may like this. But it's told in sort of a out of order, sort of a non-linear narrative. It's kind of weird, but it's okay. I did like the fact that John Travolta and Joaquin Phoenix actually trained to become firefighters before filming began, so that was really neat. Gives you sort of hands-on experience, but yeah, the movie was okay. Doesn't end good either. Lake Placid, another Killer Croc movie. Only difference is that this one was released theatrically. And it's actually really good. It's really fun. Great cast though. Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Betty White. It's actually funny. This movie tries to be more comedic in tone, but it's not like, I don't know why it tries to be a comedy, but whatever. But by the way, if anybody knows, is there a better release of Lake Placid, let me know. Actually, I have no interest in watching the sequels. The Lake House. It was okay. Kind of a decent movie. It was alright. I don't know, it was alright. The idea of like these two people who fall in love and yet they're 2 years apart from one another. And let's get some light in here, because it's gonna get darker as we go along. The Last Exorcism, I've heard good things about this one. I just have never seen it. I think it's about a priest who does like these phony. Yeah, I think it's you know, I actually haven't seen this. I do want to check that out though. Lassie Come Home, the classic. I think this is the first Lassie movie before the show. The show came out sometime later. Roddy McDowall, Elizabeth Taylor, Donald Crisp. Who else is in here? Edmund Gwenn, Elsa Lanchester. Yep, this is a family classic. The Last Airbender. Oh my god, this is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and it's also probably one of the worst adaptations of the beloved TV show. This is absolute garbage, like one of the worst films ever. But at the same time, it also could be used as an educational tool on how not to. I primarily use this movie as an educational tool. This is the perfect example of how not to adapt a beloved TV show. And this movie gets every aspect of filmmaking wrong. The acting is wrong. The cinematography is wrong. The way they converted to 3D is wrong. The storytelling is wrong. We hear how things happen, but not why. And this is just one of the worst films I've ever seen, but it's also my second guilty pleasure. And actually, this was signed by Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, and his brother Rob. It was also signed by Tamara and Malcolm. But yeah, I'm happy that I met them and they signed that for me. But yeah, really nice guy. Love the Nostalgia Critic, and his review of that movie pretty much summed it all up, essentially. The Last Days of Pompeii. This is an obscure disaster film from 1935 with Alan Hale, Basil Rathbone, and Lewis Calhern. Before the 1935. Before the 2016 film Pompeii, this and I think Krakatoa, East of Java, they were like the two well-known volcano films, or at least the most well-known to depict a well-known volcanic eruption. Last House on the Left. This was Wes Craven's earliest film in 1972, and it's just a really horrifying story. Like it's like real horror, basically about these women who were kidnapped by these kidnappers, and they basically force them to do stuff. Depravity, and yeah, this movie is. It's very hard to watch. A true horror kind of story, like a real kind of horror. And yeah, this movie makes me feel kind of off. It's just very, very dark, but essential for horror, but yeah, not for everybody. Let's put it that way, not for everybody. I recommend Hills Have Eyes above Last House on the Left. And actually, I think the remake is way more violent than the original. How does that happen? Anyway, Last King of Scotland. This is a great drama about Idi Amin, who ran with an iron fist and was probably one of the most well-known dictators of all time. This is a really well-done movie. I've only seen it once, but I really did enjoy that one. Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis and Madeline Stowe. A really good, true adventure. Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. I don't even know why I have this. I really don't. This movie I've had for many years, and I don't remember why I have it. I don't remember. But I may rewatch that down the road. I've only seen it once. Same with The Last Kiss. I think I've seen bits of this, but I heard good things, but I just haven't gotten around to this one yet. Zach Braff, Casey Affleck. Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to that one yet. The Last Picture Show. This is a fantastic drama by Peter Bogdanovich. It's another one of these movies that sort of captures life as it is. This movie is light on plot, but that's okay, because it captures life as it is, or at least as it was in this small town. You have got a great cast: Timothy Bottoms, Jeff Bridges, Ellen Burstyn, an Oscar-winning performance by Ben Johnson, Sybil Shepherd, Cloris Leachman. Yeah, really good. I think Criterion put this out. I'm not sure. The Last Voyage. I believe I talked about this in my collection update video, so I'm just going to be brief. Yeah, before the Poseidon Adventure, this was a fantastic disaster. Actually, one of the first disaster movies, if I'm not mistaken, outside of the Last Days of Pompeii. But yeah, this is great. The fact that they destroyed a real ship, the Ile de France, the fact that they destroyed a real ship on camera was really commendable. It gives it a level of authenticity, and on top of that, it works really well. You have a great cast, and on top of that, it's just one of the great disaster films that very few people know about. Next we have Last Temptation of Christ. I think Criterion re-released this, I believe. Yeah, I think Criterion re-released this. Anyway, this is a great Martin Scorsese movie that I've only seen once. And Yeah, before Passion of the Christ, this was the most controversial Jesus movie. And obviously, it was a very personal film for Martin Scorsese. Yeah, Willem Dafoe and Harvey Keitel, Harry Dean Stanton. Yeah, I think a lot of people misunderstood this one. Like, the movie's not literally saying that this is what happened to Jesus, obviously. It's not meant to be taken at face value. Yeah. The Last Waltz, another Martin Scorsese movie, although when I arrange all these by genre, that'll change. Anyway, this movie basically deals with it's a concert documentary about this group known as simply The Band and their 1976 farewell tour, and they were able to get Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Ringo Starr, Muddy Waters to celebrate. Even though Neil Diamond, even though this wasn't really their last tour, they would tour again sometime later. The Last Station about Leo Tolstoy. This is a underrated drama. I mean, it's got a good cast. Helen Mirren, Christopher Plummer, Paul Giamatti, James McAvoy. God, it's been so long since I've seen this. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which I still need to get the original. The original is one of the greatest horror films of all time. And, I just haven't gotten around to this. I just haven't gotten around to getting it. And yes, I have seen Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And do yourself a favor. Don't watch the R-rated version. Watch the unrated version. Don't do what I did and watch the R-rated version. This movie deserves to be seen in its unrated form because, yeah, there's a reason why they put the unrated version on here. There's a big reason for that. Actually, this doesn't have a Blu-ray release, but man, it's not a bad movie or anything, but it's very aware, but it can't top the original. It just can't. It's totally aware of it. Anyway, Lean on Me. This is actually a pretty good movie about Joe Clark, who he was a principal at this high school, and he led his students to become better people. Good true story movie, directed by John Avildsen, who directed Rocky. And, yeah, Morgan Freeman does a really good job. And, yeah, it's good. Next up, we have this Warren Bacall set. Key Largo, Blood Alley, Dark Passage, and Designing Women. Yeah, is this the one with, Key Largo, that was a really great kind of mystery. No, it's not. It's kind of like I think it's like a crime film. Great movie. Blood Alley with Paduke. Dark Passage. These two have Humphrey Bogart. Key Largo also has Edward G. Robinson. Blood Alley has Paduke himself, John Wayne. And Designing Woman has Fred McMurray. Right? No, Gregory Peck. I'm sorry, Gregory Peck. And yeah, I haven't seen all of them, but they were pretty good. Up next, we have The Last Samurai. But for those of you who never heard of this movie, you're probably thinking it's kind of like Dancing with Wolves and Avatar. Not really. This is the true story of the Civil War hero who sent to Japan to infiltrate the Japanese, but like, I'm blanking on what he was doing there. Oh, he wanted to put an end to the samurai dynasty. He wanted to put an end to it, but then he ended up being on their side. And, yeah, this is a really great movie. I don't know how many of you have seen this, but this is a really great true story movie. And really interesting, pretty good performance by Tom Cruise, I gotta say. It's well made, well shot, well written. Overall, it's fantastic. And here's the soundtrack to Bye Bye Birdie, one of my favorite musicals of all time. Leaving Las Vegas. Now, this movie, people say all the time, oh, Nicolas Cage is a bad actor, he does, like, all this stuff. Yes, he's not a good actor, but when the performance calls for it, when the performance calls for him to really act, he can do it. Or at least he used to. I don't think he doesn't do this anymore. If you ever seen Birdie, or this one, Leaving Las Vegas, it's actually a really it's a really interesting film, basically about an alcoholic who's on this sort of, death wish, and Elizabeth Shue is like the only person who brings him any sort of comfort in life. This is a really heartfelt film, very dramatic and very dramatic film, but really great. But yeah, it's a very heartfelt, very dramatic film. At times depressing, but it's very much worth your time. All right, next we have Legend. I still haven't seen this Ridley Scott fantasy film. Yeah, I still haven't seen this. I don't know which cut is better, the director's cut or the theatrical cut. If you know, let me know. Legends of the Fall. I already showed you this film in an update video I did. So, I'm just going to move forward. Legend of Hell House. This is a very strange haunted house movie with Roddy McDowall that came out in 1973, right? 1973, I was right, okay. Obviously not as good as other haunted house movies like A Haunting or Amityville Horror, but it tries. It tries. Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole. A family-friendly film directed by Zack Snyder, where its main characters and the entire cast comprises of owls. I just think that's really interesting. I saw this many years ago, and I don't really remember it, but I remember just being interested in that one, per se. Legends of Oz: Dorothy's Return. But this movie's complete garbage. Absolute complete garbage. Okay, I guess I should explain why. This movie had a lot of behind-the-scenes problems as it was, but there is another problem. The entire movie is absolute... It's just completely stupid. First off, all the songs in this movie are modernized. All the songs are modernized. No touch of originality, no touch of timelessness, no. The main characters we associate with Oz, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion, they're basically useless. And then we have all these new characters, like this owl that can't fly, like this owl and a China doll, and oh my god. And these characters are not interesting whatsoever. And then you waste a great cast. You have Lea Michele, Dan Aykroyd, Kelsey Grammer, Tim Belushi, Bernadette Peters, Martin Short, Patrick Stewart. And then it's just like... it's just stupidity. Everything that happens in this movie is just completely stupid. Like, really, 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 really stupid. I'd rather watch Return to Oz. I'd rather watch Journey Back to Oz. Or, you know what? No, I'd rather watch every single version of Wizard of Oz that came out before the original masterpiece than watch that travesty again. Avoid it, please. Don't avoid this. Les Miserables. Les Miserables is actually one of my favorite musicals of all time, and this film is it's a very worthy successor to the original musical. The fact that they did, all the cast did their own singing live, and you have a great cast: Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Amanda Seyfried, Eddie Redmayne, Colin Wilkinson's in here from the original Broadway and London cast. Yeah, just a very powerful story, really spectacularly well done. And yes, this is one of my favorite stage-to-film translations of all time. Alright, next we have the Lethal Weapon saga. So this is all 4 Lethal Weapon movies. I've actually tried... I've seen the first one, but I've never seen, like, the other 3. It's interesting with Lethal Weapon... It's great that they only made 4, because 4 is really all you need. By the time the third movie came out, Joe Pesci became a central player, and every single one of these has something, But yeah, I do want to give all of these a whirl. The first Lethal Weapon is considered one of the best action films of all time, and I don't think it's right to like pinpoint exactly. I think we all know what makes the first one good, but I do want to watch all of them. Yeah, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Alright, next we have Let's Make It Regal. This is not a Marilyn Monroe film, despite the fact that Marilyn Monroe is on the cover. No, actually, this is a Claudia Colbert and Zachary Scott vehicle, and Marilyn Monroe is only in this for maybe 10 minutes. Let's Make Love. I mentioned before, but I already own this. Marilyn Monroe meets Moand. Tony Randall. I think I tried watching this one time, but I never actually finished it, so... Anyway. What Scared Jessica to Death? I found this at a store that doesn't exist anymore called a Deep Discount. I only saw it once, and I didn't really know what to think of it. Like, I think it's about these, like... these people that are trying to, like... You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I do not remember this movie at all. Sorry. Wire. This is one of my favorite comedies. One of my favorite comedies of all time. Jim Carrey just nails it in this film. This is easily one of the best comedies of all time. A guy, an attorney who can't lie for an entire day. That's just brilliant. I love... There's so many memorable quotes in this movie. The pen is blue. The pen is blue. License to Kill was James Bond of his time with Timothy Dalton. Still have not seen this one. Who's a Bond girl in this one? Don't remember. That's okay. Life as We Know It. I don't know why I have that. License to Wed. I don't know why I have that either. What is License to Wed? Some Robin Williams comedy? I don't know why I have that. Alright, next we have Life of Emile Zola, Best Picture winner in 1937 with Paul Muni and Joseph Schenktel. I can't even pronounce the name. Shitquat? I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce his name. This is a pretty good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, this is a film about a scholar by I think it's about... Yeah, it's a French activist author. One of the most well-known courtroom dramas. And pretty interesting landmark in film history. Here's another one I just haven't gotten around to. Life is Beautiful. With Roberto Benigni. Haven't gotten around to this one, and it doesn't have a Blu-ray to my knowledge. But this movie, you know, I've been meaning to watch this. I've heard, like, really great things about it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. Life of Pi. I'm just gonna come out and say right now, I think this movie's overrated. I just don't understand why people love this, because... I mean, let me tell you something. It's good in aspects. Like, the visuals are great. The score is great. Like, the journey that he goes through, like, you know, he survives his shipwreck and he's stuck with a tiger. You know, I get what it's trying to do. But here's the thing. I just think this movie, it could have been so much more, you know? It just could have been. It could have been so much more. You know, it could have taken a few more risks. But again, I just don't understand why people love it so much. I didn't find it all that moving. I didn't find it all that life-changing. I just found it as, like, you know, I felt like it was trying too hard. When you compare it to Les Miserables, which came out the same year, which already the emotions are there. You don't have to, like, do anything more to it, you know. But again, I felt like it just tried too hard for me, and I just didn't... It was okay. You know, maybe one of these days it'll catch on with me, but... not right now. You know. Although, I love this. Lifeboat. This is a little bit of similar to Life of Pi in a sense, but it's very, very different. It's about this group of people who survive this shipwreck at the hands of a German torpedo. And they're wondering how long they can last or how long they can stand each other. And one person may I remember there was one person who they pick up, and it turns out that the person who they pick up is actually the person who ordered the torpedo to sink their ship. So you could imagine how, yeah, I don't want to give it away, but that's a great Hitchcock film. Next up, we have Lilies of the Field with Sidney Poitier. Trailblazing actor. Like, he has a lot of great performances under his belt. You know, The Defiant Ones, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, this movie, In the Heat of the Night, To Serve Love, A Raisin in the Sun. Great actor. Love him. This is the film that he won the Oscar for in 1962. 63, sorry. And it's basically a very simple story. It's primarily about this guy who, you know, he stops by this church with all these, like, with these nuns, and they ask him to help him. He gets asked to help them build their church, and he's not really into it. He's not really a big fan of it, but later on he learns to kind of love it. And this movie does not end the way you'd expect. It actually, the ending kind of left a lot to be desired, but it's a good movie otherwise. Next we have one of my favorite Disney films, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, you're gonna ruin this movie too, huh? This was the movie that introduced me to Elvis Presley. This movie was where I became aware of Elvis Presley, and I became a lifelong fan ever since. Very great story, a wonderful animation. You know, it's one of those situations where you don't judge a book by its cover, and you're gonna ruin this too, aren't you? Disney, you're gonna ruin this too, aren't you? Alright, next we have Limelight, Charlie Chaplin movie that I still have not seen, from 1952, also with Claire Bloom. You know, I've seen a good amount of Charlie Chaplin movies, but I have not seen this one. And I think this one also has, this one has Buster Keaton in here, making like some kind of a cameo. Lincoln, love this movie. Love this movie. A decently accurate film about Abraham Lincoln. So starting from the tail end of the Civil War and sort of what happened after. This movie's fantastic. Darren Day-Lewis commands the screen. Tommy Lee Jones, Sally Field as his wife. And yes, I put the sticker thing in here. Yeah. The Lion in Winter. This is an excellent drama that I don't think a lot of people know. This is the film about King Henry II and his wife Eleanor, and the two of them, and the movie kind of shows how their relationship. But yeah, this is a really well done drama. Actually, it was based on a play. I believe it was based on a play. I'm not sure about the accuracy, but I think but it is a really great drama though. Alright, next we have The Lion King. This is one of my all-time favorite films now. Actually, my friend Dennis and I, we saw this movie in theaters during The Lion King's 30th anniversary. And all I have to say is, wow. I can't get enough of this one. This is an absolute masterpiece. The loose connections to Hamlet, the animation, the songs by Elton John, the characters. Oh, Scar is such an amazing villain. The idea of how the past can hurt, but it can also help you heal. But you can actually learn from the past, and just, oh man, just the majesty, the majestic. They knew when they made this, they knew they were making something big, and it's absolutely amazing, absolutely gorgeous film. Oh man, I love this movie so much. This movie, like, I love this movie more as an adult than I did as a kid. As a kid, you're fascinated by the animation and the characters, but as an adult, you can appreciate not just that, but also the storytelling. The storytelling, the artistry, the writing, you can really appreciate that more. And oh, I love this movie so much. Yeah, I do need to get a new copy because my copy's kind of scratched at the moment. And actually, I love the movie so much that when my theater was showing the 30th anniversary screening of The Lion King, I literally asked my boss to like hold this poster for me, and she did. So when you work in a movie theater, you sometimes get like free stuff like posters and other stuff. But basically, this poster is absolutely amazing. It sits very nicely with my other posters. Yeah, this is awesome. I love The Lion King more as an adult now. I love it more now than when I was a kid. And no amount of Disney live action assassinations can take away from its awesome spectacle. It is just iconic, memorable, and beautiful. Oh, James, we'll miss you. Thank you for bringing two memorable characters to life, Darth Vader and Mufasa. Thank you for giving The Lion King its soul. And I actually do have the sequel, Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, which out of all of the direct-to-video sequels, this is one of the better ones. But that's not saying much, though. That's not saying much at all. But honestly, I prefer something that's mediocre, that actually tried, as opposed to something insulting any day. I prefer this over Mulan 2. Oh god, Mulan 2. They're one of the worst. Fox and the Hound 2, Tarzan 2, Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, Beauty and the Beast, Bella's Magical World. Any of them, doesn't compare to Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. I do remember Lion King 1.5. I do remember that one. I just don't have it right now. But again, there's only one Lion King. Little Children. This is a criminally underrated drama by Todd Field, who you may know, he also directed In the Bedroom. Little Children follows Kate Winslet, who she has like a son or whatever, and she randomly falls in love with a random guy who she met at this park, played by Patrick Wilson. And while this is kind of going on, Jackie Earle Haley, he plays a pedophile who just got released from prison, and his life is just never the same, and kind of like these two worlds sort of merge. The Little Mermaid. Once again, there is only one Little Mermaid. Period. All these Disney remakes, it's clear that they don't have a creative soul anymore. Yeah, but this was the start of a Disney Renaissance. This was the start of pretty much everything, before Lion King, before Aladdin, before Beauty and the Beast, there was this. This is just one of the greats. And actually, this was autographed by Jodie Benson, who voices Ariel in the film. And it was funny when I met her, because, she had worked on the Broadway musical prior to that. And the music and that musical were done by Howard Ashman, who did the songs for Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And, basically, and I said to her, there was only one, Little Mermaid. She was flattered by that. Alright, next we have Little Miss Sunshine. This is a decent comedy. This is a pretty decent comedy. If you understand it, then you'll really enjoy it. Alan Arkin, who won the Oscar, Abigail Breslin, Greg Kinnear, Steve Carell. It's a really well done film. Alright, next up we have Little Shop of Horrors. But, speaking of Howard Ashman, this was basically based on the off-Broadway musical, which was based on the Roger Corman film, which a lot of people don't know anymore. But basically, this movie had two endings. I know we all know Little Shop of Horrors, man-eating plant and everything, but this movie actually had two endings. So this is the original cut of the movie was more faithful, without giving too much away. It was basically more faithful to the original off-Broadway musical. But test audiences did not like it, so the ending was changed. And what you see is, in the theatrical version that was released originally in theaters, actually this DVD right here is the rare first edition DVD of the film, which actually does have the unaltered, the unfinished original ending. However, David Giffen, who was the producer of Giffen Pictures, Giffen Company, excuse me, he ordered a recall of this DVD because the original ending was slapped on there without his approval, And the original ending would not see the light of day until the director's cut in 2012. And I think the Blu-ray of this only has the director's cut. I could be wrong though, but I only saw the director's cut on the Blu-ray. So without giving too much away, it'll kind of leave you hanging. Little Women. We all know the Greta Gerwig adaptation and the Winona Ryder version, but this is the original one from 1933 with Katharine Hepburn, directed by George Cukor. And absolutely love this one. Absolutely love this adaptation, without question. Go check this out. I do want to see the Greta Gerwig one though. I could care less about the Winona Ryder one. I don't want to watch that. Here it is, with We Are Die Hard. I knew I had it. One of these days I'm going to put all the Die Hard movies together. Yeah, this is the one I remember hearing about in theaters, and I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it actually, but one of these days I do want to watch all the Die Hard movies and just kind of, watch them in a marathon. Up next we have Logan. Oh my god, this is how you do a finale. This is how you do a superhero finale. You don't have to watch the other X-Men movies to understand this. This is a fantastic movie, and I don't want to spoil everything, but basically this is a film dealing with a man who's lost his soul, who's given a shot at redemption by protecting this young girl who has similar powers to him. The cinematography is excellent. The character arc is absolutely beautiful. We see Logan in a very dark place, and he just doesn't care about himself anymore. And so it's a film dealing with what exactly does your life really mean, and not bad. And Charles Xavier's in here as well, but it's an excellent film. Logan's Run. This is a movie that a lot of people don't know this one nowadays. Set in the 21st century, you are to the age of 30, and then you're renew or reborn or whatever. And it's sort of corrupt. Farrah Fawcett's in here. Michael York. We'll read a Stanley Kubrick film, but they adapted from the Vladimir Nabokov novella. This is a film dealing with obsession and unhealthy relationships, and a legal one at that. Almost a predatory one, but yeah, basically the whole movie's about this plan that Hubbard has, and it doesn't. This plan obviously is not going to work, but you follow along with it anyway. James Mason, Peter Sellers, Shelley Winters. The Longest Day. Before Saving Private Ryan, Darrell Zanuck did his take on the Battle of D-Day, and oh my god, there's so many actors in here. There's at least 50 different well-known personalities in here. You have Henry Fonda, the Duke, Robert Mitchum, Richard Burton, Sean Connery, Kurt Jurgens, Peter Lawford, Eddie Albert, Richard Burton, Rod Steiger, Robert Ryan, Edmund O'Brien. I think Frankie Avalon, I think, is in here. I could be wrong though. But yeah, that one shot where they actually went on the beach and it was this long shot. That was really cool. The Longest Yard, Burt Reynolds, great football dramedy. I don't know if it's a dramedy or a comedy. I don't know. Eddie Albert's in here. This is great. This is a really great movie. I saw this in theaters when I met Burt Reynolds, and I thought this movie was just really fun movie. Do not watch the Adam Sandler movie. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so I do apologize for the random edits, but basically I was reorganizing this shelf during the making of this section. So yeah, we're almost done. So that's why it looks a little weird continuity, but whatever. Anyway, you have The Lost Boys. This is a really good vampire film with Kiefer Sutherland and the two Coreys. I'm not really a fan of Joel Schumacher personally, but I did like this film because it was kind of like a celebration of vampires. But watch Fright Night, the original. Lost in Translation. Oh yes, this Oscar winner is fantastic. Dealing with loneliness of this one guy who's stuck in a country that he doesn't quite understand, and then this one person comes into his life, and yeah, it's just a very, very meaningful film with great acting by Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. Love that one. And next up is Lucy. Yeah, I really need to get more Steel books in my collection. But anyway, this is kind of an interesting concept. Even though it wasn't perfect, it was alright. I like certain aspects of it for sure. So, it's decent. Next is Love Affair, with Charles Boyer and Irene Dunn. This is the film that became the inspiration for An Affair to Remember, which in turn became the inspiration for Sleepless in Seattle. And I think this did get a Criterion release recently, so I'm glad that got released. But yeah, this movie is great. Sort of showing I don't know if it's a doomed romance or a flawed romance between these two people who meet on this ship, and they can't get away, they can't separate. But yeah. All right, next we have the crown jewel of the fantasy genre, Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy. This is the extended edition. I just got this while I was making this video. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. I haven't even opened it yet. But yeah, Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and the Best Picture winning The Return of the King. Now, yes, this is absolutely fantastic trilogy. A trilogy that at one time or another was, people said that it was unfilmable. But Peter Jackson found a way to make J.R.R. Tolkien's books come to life, and he pulled it off in a very spectacular way. Now, I've only seen the extended version of Fellowship of the Ring. I have not seen the extended editions of the other two, but I love these films. When I was watching these, I could really sense that there was a lot of care put into these films. The whole Middle-earth lore and how the characters journey, trying to get rid of the one ring to rule them all, and the journey, the personal struggles that the characters go through over a course of a journey, the different characters and lore, and the world and the characters, the different the idea of this one powerful ring that has like so much power that can fall into the hands of anyone. But yeah, just absolutely amazing trilogy. I have all the Lord of the Rings movies now. I picked up Hobbit and Unexpected Journey recently, so maybe I'll show that in a future update. But basically, yeah, the only Lord of the Rings movie I'm needing now is Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, and I will be set. And I gotta crack into this set. Now, speaking of Lord of the Rings, we have the animated one by Ralph Bakshi. Okay, this is a terrible movie. Basically, what he did was he basically took the first two books, Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers, crammed them into 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then skipped over so much of the story. And not to mention, they pronounced one of the main villains, Sauron, they pronounced his name wrong many times. I mean, Ralph Bakshi's great and all, but not that one. Avoid it, please, because we've spent so many years waiting for a proper Lord of the Rings adaptation, and we finally got it. Speaking of Oscar winners, The Lost Weekend, Best Picture winner 1945. Probably the first film to deal with alcoholism, or at least one of the first ones. Ray Milland won an Oscar for portraying a tortured character dealing with his own downfall of alcoholism. The Lost World, this is the 1925 silent classic based on the Arthur Conan Doyle story. And of course, it's got stop motion animation by Willis O'Brien, who would later go on to do King Kong. This needs a better release, I swear. Love and Other Drugs, a decent rom-com, pretty funny at times. I kind of enjoyed it, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway. Yeah, you could just tell that the characters were having fun with this one, and Yeah, I gotta say, I liked it too. Ooh, The Love Bug, Herbie. Yeah, this is the first Herbie movie with Buddy Hackett and Dean Jones. Now, I've never seen any of the Herbie movies, like none of them, but I believe it's The Love Bug, Herbie Goes Bananas, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. Why is this not focusing? There we go. I don't remember what the others were, but I think one of them was Herbie Fully Loaded with Lindsay Lohan. The Love Guru. Okay, you know what? I still haven't seen this. This weird Mike Myers film. I haven't seen this, but I've been meaning to get around to that. I'm sure it's okay. Love Me Tender. This is Elvis's first film in 1956. So originally, Elvis was supposed to star in The Rainmaker with Burt Lancaster and Katharine Hepburn, but for whatever reason, he didn't get the part. I still am trying to figure out why, but Hal Wallace, who was producing the movie, loaned him out to 20th Century Fox. They were working on a film called The Reno Brothers, which would eventually become Love Me Tender. Yeah, this is a very historic movie for a number of reasons. This was Elvis's first on-screen appearance. This had a huge premiere when it came out. And yeah, it was a box office success. This movie still holds up. I've seen it probably 2 or 3 times, and it holds up very well. Love story. Love means never having to say you're sorry. I just don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that phrase, but this is a classic. This is a classic romantic drama with Ryan O'Neal and Ally McGraw. Of course, it's got that famous piano score, which won the Oscar for it. And, of course, it's got a really, 2 memorable characters at the helm. And, yes, it's a really, really dramatic film, but really good. Lieutenant Robin Crusoe, USN. Why hasn't anyone heard of this movie? I know this movie came out around the time of Gilligan's Island, but this movie is funny. This is one of Disney's most underrated, or at least one of Disney's most underrated films. My idol, my hero, Dick Van Dyke, and Nancy Kwan. This is just funny. This is just a funny movie, and I seriously wonder why more people don't watch that. It's kind of like, it takes the whole Robinson Crusoe storyline and sort of twists it upside down, but it's really good. Speaking of underrated films you should check out, Lust for Life, with Kirk Douglas playing Vincent Van Gogh. And the first time I saw this, it was on Turner Classic Movies, and I'm like, did this really happen? And I literally had to look up this stuff because I couldn't actually believe what I was seeing. But yeah, this is a very underrated film. People don't talk about that one ever. Next we have the Mad Max movies, or at least 2 of them. The first one with Mel Gibson. This was during the time of the Aussiesploitation. If you've ever seen the documentary Not Quite Hollywood, it talks about the Aussiesploitation that started, I think, in the 60s. So basically, films made in Australia, and this is one of the more well-known of them. It launched the Mad Max series, which continued on with The Road Warrior and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And then we have Mad Max Fury Road. What's great about this movie is you don't even have to watch the other movies to watch this. But oh my god, this movie is awesome. I mean, the practical effects, the fact the movie's just one big chase, the Oscar-winning costume design, production design, sound. Oh man, this is just a rush of enjoyment right here. This is great. I haven't seen Furiosa yet, so I don't know how that movie is. Alright, we got 3 more to go. The Madagascar films, or at least the first 2. Now, I liked the first one when I was younger, but I don't really remember these movies all that well, but I remember enjoying them. I remember the zebra, But Chris Rock, Zebra. I remember the giraffe that had like a bunch of health issues, or at least he had a very strong fear of germs. I remember the lion. I remember the penguins. One of them was voiced by I think James Corden, right? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah, I remember them getting the island. I remember the I like to move and move it. You know, I remember that song. So I remember that to an extent. And then the second one, Escape to Africa. So this is where we're trying to get to Africa, which was kind of a whole plot of the, like the first movie was about them trying to get home. Now it's like, oh, well, we're stuck in Africa, so we're trying to get out of here. Yeah, oh God, I don't remember these. I don't, man, I remember so little about these. I have not seen the third one, so we'll see what it is. And the last film on shelf number 4 is MacArthur, about General Douglas MacArthur, who was one of the leading figures in World War II. Not a good movie, but Gregory Peck does a good job. And the thing with him is that when he knows the script is bad, like he even said that there was something wrong with the script. I mean, yeah, that's not good, guys. Yeah, not a very good movie, but whatever. I talked about this in a update video, but I'm serious. Why can't they make like a really great film about Douglas MacArthur? I mean, they made one for George S. Patton, you know? So why can't they do the same thing for Douglas MacArthur? I don't know why. And then over here is a lot of my Christmas stuff, but we're not going to talk about those just yet. So yeah, a lot of this shelf has been reorganized. So basically, the updates that I've been showing you that I recorded over the course of, I think, maybe like a year or so. Kind of a reason, so I'm just doing some reorganizing right now. Anyway, with that said, thank you so much for joining me on this journey, talking about all of this mammoth shelf here. And until next time, I will see all of you later.